looking down horses from the back. I want to see a horse, you know, the quarter horses that are taught to square up are great for this. Some horses aren't. But I want to see symmetry down the horse's back, right out through the top of the horse's poll, right between his ears. And, you know, if a horse is crooked, we're not expecting him to move as well. You know, if you, you know, nowadays with cell phones, you can take a picture of a horse, walk around the other side, take a picture of a horse, put two things beside each other. We were talking about technology earlier, and, you know, you can do some real quick checks on that. I've got a little flexi curve I keep in the truck, and sometimes we take that and we mold it on the horse, because sometimes you do that to bring out the unevenness. But when somebody says a horse is working evenly, there are a lot of telltale signs. You know, if people, how's your horse you're doing in the back end? Is he using his back end well? Yes, he's always engaging in the back end. That's why it looks like a crop duster when he's going across the arena on a dry arena, because he's doing that 6 feet, you know, toes tagging the ground every time, and you see the wear pattern on the foot. So, is that horse engaging? Yes, he's engaging. No, he's not. If his pelvis was coming under, he'd clear the ground. So then why is it not coming under? Another argument, people like, okay, hunter horses in particular, he's got too much elbow action. If I'm blocking the rotation of the scapula and he's supposed to reach forward, the only place he can bend out of his elbow. If he's not lifting his back, he can't unlock his scapula and get full range of movement. If your saddle is blocking that, you're not going to get full range of movement. If your rider is collapsing in front of the horse, you're not going to get full range of movement. So, as a farrier, we are asked to fix that with, a lot of times I'll ask for an aluminum shoe. In flight, aluminum shoe makes about that much difference in height of stride. And then when you say so, it's very little. But people have in their heads that it's the weight of the aluminum shoe or not. And I can tell you this, because early on, I worked with a guy that did a lot of hunter horses that were big dollar hunter horses. And there were plenty of them that they put fishing weights in the back of the aluminum shoe to get the horse to pitch out. It was like 2 or 3 little fishing weights. Not much, very little, but that was done a long time ago. Peacock, Miller, all those guys did that. And, you know, some of the same horses, if you did them without that, they wouldn't move as well. But you can drill halfway through the shoe, put a fishing weight, smack it, put the aluminum shoe on, it's hidden the shoe. But that's been done many a times in the show ring to create a movement pattern. You can alter in flight when that thing is slight weight to the inside, slight weight to the outside. Where's that leg going this way, or is it going this way? The straighter the horse gets, most of your horses that are paddling is a counterbalance maneuver. Okay. Watching a horse's hips when they're moving, is that hip lift the same? Does that leg swing the same from inside to out? Is one side tracking straighter with the body or not? There's so many times you watch a horse coming at you and you think, well, I'm not in front of him. When you step in front, when you're in front of him, you find out he's not coming right at you because he's not traveling straight. Looking at a hind leg, you know, people get real concerned about horses toed out in the back end, or they're cow-hocked or whatever. If a horse will, you know, it's like me standing up here. I'm not standing squared up. This is comfortable at the moment. I don't stand square on both sides because, well, after a while it hurts. But if he'll come up and square up in his movement pattern, I'm not that concerned about it. If he keeps that in his movement pattern, we've got some things to look at. But if you look at your big heavy-bodied horse, your draft horse, a lot of them will stand like this in the back end every time you stop them. Now, also, if that's the problem in trimming, do I have a twist in that hoof capsule, and do I need to counterload the twist to unload the twist to get the hoof capsule to settle a bit? And sometimes that's enough to clean it up without anything else. You can do all kinds of metal work, and until you get that hoof capsule to settle in where you want it to be, you're putting torque against torque. And I would, you know, let's address that before we start getting crazy with extension of trailers and side weights and all this sort of deal.